What if everything we thought we knew about Voldemort's Horcruxes was wrong? For years, we've believed in the sacred number 7, the perfect, unbreakable plan to cheat death. But what if, in his desperation, the Dark Lord unknowingly broke his own rule? Today, we're uncovering a hidden truth buried deep in the shadows of the wizarding world. A Horcrux that was never meant to exist. A terrifying mistake that may have changed the course of history forever. So grab your wand, sharpen your mind, and step into the unknown. Because this mystery is about to take us deeper than ever before. Voldemort was obsessed with power. But not just any power. The kind that bends death itself. As a student at Hogwarts, he first stumbled upon the concept of Horcruxes in the restricted section of the library. But it was only later, during a carefully orchestrated conversation with Professor Slughorn, that he uncovered the full, horrifying truth, confirming that multiple Horcruxes were possible. To achieve this, he chose the darkest path imaginable, splitting his soul into multiple pieces. Not 1, not 2, but 7. Why 7? Because 7 is the most magically powerful number. In his twisted mind, it wasn't just about immortality. It was about perfection. By scattering his soul across the wizarding world, he ensured that, as long as even one fragment survived, he could never truly die. A terrifying insurance policy. But here's where it gets even darker. Creating a Horcrux isn't just about splitting your soul. It's about ripping it apart. And for that, there's only one method. Murder. Cold-blooded, merciless murder. With each kill, Voldemort didn't just lose a piece of his humanity. He willingly destroyed it. So what were these Horcruxes, the infamous 6 he created, plus the one he never meant to make? Let's break them down. First, Tom Riddle's diary. At just 16, Voldemort left a piece of his soul inside an unassuming school notebook. But this was no ordinary diary. It was a trap. A parasitic memory designed to possess, manipulate, and eventually kill its owner. Its victim, Ginny Weasley. Had Harry not destroyed it, she would have been lost forever. Then came Marvolo Gaunt's ring. Voldemort stole it from his own grandfather and used the murder of his father, Tom Riddle, Sr., to seal the fragment inside. But here's the twist. This wasn't just any ring. It contained the Resurrection Stone. Yes, one of the Deathly Hallows. Voldemort had no idea. He only cared about its bloodline connection to Salazar Slytherin. He wore it for a time. Until he discarded it like trash. Next, Slytherin's locket. A relic of his own ancestry, hidden away for centuries. Stolen from Hepzibah Smith, a collector too foolish to realize she was dealing with a monster. Voldemort killed her and locked a piece of his soul inside the locket. This Horcrux was so infused with dark magic that just wearing it made people angry, paranoid, and cruel. Even Ron Weasley, one of the most loyal people in the series, nearly succumbed to it. Then came Hufflepuff's cup, a symbol of kindness and generosity, twisted into an object of evil. Voldemort didn't just steal it. He coveted it. He wanted to reshape history, prove that he deserved all the Hogwarts founders' treasures. But the most disturbing part? He murdered a random Muggle tramp just to seal the deal. A meaningless death, all for his ego. Then there was Ravenclaw's diadem, a crown of wisdom, lost for centuries. Until he found it. He hid it in the Room of Requirement, confident that no one would ever uncover its secret. But the real irony? The diadem was meant to grant its wearer intelligence. Instead, it helped a man who refused to learn from his own mistakes. Then came Nagini, the most unusual of them all. Unlike the other Horcruxes, Nagini was alive, a serpent bound to Voldemort in ways far beyond a simple pet. But how did she become a Horcrux? It happened years later, during Voldemort's exile, in Albania, when he was little more than a formless spirit. He encountered Bertha Jorkins, a ministry witch who had wandered too far. Voldemort, with the help of Peter Pettigrew, tortured her relentlessly, until her mind broke, revealing secrets about the Triwizard Tournament and Barty Crouch Jr., but he didn't stop there. Bertha's death became the key to his last Horcrux. With her murder, Voldemort sealed a fragment of his soul inside Nagini, creating a living vessel unlike any other. This bond made Nagini more than just a snake. She was an extension of Voldemort himself, able to understand and carry out his will with terrifying precision. But here's the sinister part. Unlike inanimate objects, Nagini could move, attack, and kill. She wasn't just a container. She was a weapon, and through her, Voldemort ensured that even if his body was destroyed, he would still have a living piece of himself, ready to strike again. And finally, the one that shocked even Voldemort himself, Harry Potter, the accidental Horcrux. When he tried to kill Baby, Harry, the spell rebounded, and a shard of his own soul latched onto the only living thing nearby. Harry became a walking fragment of Voldemort's essence. His pain, his visions, his ability to speak Parseltongue, all because of the piece of Voldemort inside him. 7 Horcruxes, 7 anchors to immortality, 7 steps into the abyss of inhumanity, or so we thought. Because what if there was another? What if Voldemort didn't stop at 7? What if in his desperation he created an 8th, without even realizing it? Imagine being a young, ambitious wizard. You dream of greatness, of unlocking the mysteries of magic. Then, one day, you meet Voldemort. And in an instant, your life is no longer yours. That's exactly what happened to Professor Quirrell. He wasn't always the trembling, nervous wreck we meet at Hogwarts. Before his fateful journey, he was smart, curious, and full of potential. But curiosity can be dangerous. And for Quirrell, it was fatal. He ventured into Albania, searching for what remained of the Dark Lord. He thought he could outsmart Voldemort, maybe even gain some power in return, but he was wrong. Voldemort saw right through him. He didn't beg for help. He took. He seized control of Quirrell's body like a parasite latching onto its host. From that moment on, Quirrell was no longer Quirrell. He was something else. His body moved, but his will was gone. His voice trembled, not from fear, but from the sheer, crushing weight of Voldemort inside him. He became weaker, drained, as if Voldemort was feeding off of him. Because, in a way, he was. But here's the real question. Was this simple possession, or something more? Voldemort didn't just control Quirrell. He lived inside him. He physically shared his body, even fusing with him so completely that his face emerged from the back of Quirrell's head. That's not just possession, that's something far darker. Something eerily similar to a Horcrux. Think about it. Every Horcrux held a fragment of Voldemort's soul. They were his anchors, ensuring he could never fully die. So what if Quirrell was one too? Not permanently, but temporarily. A living, breathing Horcrux, just until Voldemort could regain full strength. It makes sense. Every object that contained a piece of his soul corrupted those who possessed it. The diary consumed Ginny. The locket poisoned Ron's mind. The ring nearly killed Dumbledore. And Quirrell, he wasted away, his body deteriorating, his very essence fading. Sound familiar? But there's something even creepier. Every Horcrux gave Voldemort a tether to the world of the living, and Quirrell, he died the moment Voldemort left him, as if his life had been tied to that piece of Voldemort's soul all along. As if, the second that connection broke, there was nothing left to keep him alive. So, was Quirrell just a pawn, or was he an unofficial, temporary Horcrux that Voldemort never even realized he created? The answer might change everything we thought we knew. Let's get straight to the point. J.K. Rowling herself confirmed that Quirrell was, in essence, a temporary Horcrux. That's right. This isn't just a fan theory. The creator of the Wizarding World stated that Voldemort's possession of Quirrell worked in the same way as a Horcrux, even if it wasn't created with a ritual. But that raises a chilling question. If Quirrell functioned like a Horcrux, does that mean Voldemort unintentionally created an 8th one? His entire plan was built on the magic of 7, but in his desperation, he may have shattered that number without realizing it. His own arrogance may have doomed him from the start. Think about how a Horcrux works. A fragment of Voldemort's soul is sealed inside an object or living thing, tethering him to life. Quirrell didn't just carry Voldemort's will, he carried a piece of his soul, literally inside his body. And like every other Horcrux, Quirrell was ultimately destroyed, consumed by the dark magic he carried. Every known Horcrux corrupted and weakened those who held them. The diary drained Ginny's life force. The ring's curse nearly killed Dumbledore. The locket poisoned Ron's mind with rage and paranoia. And Quirrell, his body wasted away, his strength drained until he was nothing but a vessel, rotting, from the inside out. But here's the real kicker. A Horcrux doesn't just hold a soul fragment. It keeps its creator tethered to life. And what happened the second Quirrell died? Voldemort lost his grip on the physical world and fled, once again to a wraith. If Quirrell had been just possessed, Voldemort might have found another host. But no. His connection to life was broken. Just like when a Horcrux is destroyed. So, was Quirrell a real Horcrux? Not in the traditional sense. There was no ritual, no deliberate intent. But functionally, absolutely. He was a Horcrux in all but name. A ticking time bomb Voldemort unknowingly created in his own desperation. And what does Voldemort's perfect, unbreakable number 7 mean? It was broken long before Harry destroyed the first Horcrux. If Voldemort had already unknowingly broken his own rule once, could he have made other mistakes we've never noticed?